Well, well, well. Not a lot of Cowboys news going on, but we're going to talk about what we can talk about. And it looks like, as it pertains to the Dallas Cowboys, all the talk continues to be Amari Cooper. And again, I talked about this last night on Cowboys After Dark. I don't understand all the Amari Cooper talk, because I believe the Cowboys and Amari Cooper are way further away than people are talking. And again, I got to get used to this part of the Cowboys space, because a lot of people continue to talk about things that probably won't even come to fruition. But I guess it's content. We're content creators, so we create content. But I'm going to go back to my original premise as it applies to Amari Cooper and what this is really all about. And this isn't what people are making it about. But again, welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G. I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. So if you like this video or this live stream, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know the next time we post another live or another video. If you haven't become a channel member already, please do. We have a lot of great things coming on in the future. Now, let me announce the topics. I'll announce the topics. Appreciate y'all hitting that like button as you come in. I'm going to announce the topics. And I don't see anybody in my chat, but I see people listening, watching, so that's great. Timothy Govin in the crib. Appreciate you. Yes, sir. We're going to have a little bit of a roll call. As a matter of fact, we'll give it a few minutes. We'll have a little bit of a roll call. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the topics. We'll come back and do a roll. We'll do a roll call, and then we'll get into our topics. So let's get into our topics. This is the topics we're going to be talking about today. We are going to be talking about Amari Cooper. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just being honest with you. Everyone can do what they want to do. I got so much love and respect for everyone inside of this space. But I just don't believe, I'm just different in the way I approach things. I just don't believe in spending a lot of time on something that I do not believe that's going to happen. And if anybody's being real with themselves, they pretty much know this ain't happening either. But again, our topic for today is Amari Cooper. We're also going to look at Jonathan Mingo. And I'm going to continue to make the case that I've been making about the Cowboys and Jonathan Mingo. I want to look a little bit at the Cowboys offensive line. I want to talk about Brian Schottenheimer's plan. Then we'll look at whatever other Cowboy news is out there and any miscellaneous news. So that's where we're going to be today. Not going to be long today. Today is my son's birthday, so I plan to be out of here somewhere around 7-ish, 7:30. But you never know. I did Cowboys After Dark last night till 4 a.m. And for all you late night folk, I may be doing Cowboys After Dark again, because I may be making Cowboys After Dark a staple on this channel. But again, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. We're going to do a quick roll call, and then we're going to get right into the show, and we're going to be rolling all the way to about 7:30. Let's do it. Let's get this roll call. Let's go. Man, again, I appreciate my man Timothy Govin up in here in the crib. He said Co-op is not returning. Coop is not. Oh, yes, sir. Coop is not returning to Dallas. Timothy Govin, nobody's listening to me. I'm just trying to tell people. John Jones, what up with you? My man, the dude. He says, well. Hit that like button. Yes, sir. Jeff Shack in the crib. I'm here. He says, brother, appreciate you. Joey Barker in the crib. What up, Blue Star, my man? Yes, sir, man. I'm getting there. I'm getting there, man. I'm getting there. I'm not as stopped up, of course, and the coffin is pretty much gone. Mr. Brightside, you come to the right place. Yes, sir. Appreciate you being in here, Mr. Brightside. Wayne Graham, what's going on? Katharina Kiss in the crib and in the chat. Appreciate you. Hallelujah, hallelujah. What's going on? What's going on? Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Yes, sir. Blue Star, we're going to hit that in just a moment. Louise Ortiz, what's going on with you? Yes, sir. Oh, man. Hey, Louise, you know how the youngsters are, man. He got to go get his workout on. He got to go get his workout on before he do anything. So he going to get his workout on. So we'll have plenty of time to have some fun tonight. True Cowboy in the crib. What's going on? Good to see you. Yes, sir, man. We got a good show for tonight. Again, we're going to be dealing with Amari Cooper, Jonathan Mingo, Cowboys old line shot. He's playing Cowboys news and miscellaneous news. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's get it going. Charles Phoenix, he says Chi-Town in the crib. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good to see you in here. Yes, sir. You a Cowboy fan out in Chi-Town. Woo-wee. Yes, sir. Let's get this thing started. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Jeff Shack. Yes, sir. Appreciate you. All right, let's get into this. Let's get into this thing again with Amari Cooper. I was hoping my man 808 Cowboy. I was hoping the 808 Cowboy was going to be back on here today because he made a comment last night on Cowboys After Dark. And he made the comment that Amari Cooper said he would be willing to come back to the Dallas Cowboys, but there had to be mutual interest or something to that effect. And he was asking me, did I not believe Amari Cooper? Well, I've been doing some research on this, and if anybody can find where did he get that quote from Amari Cooper, I would love to see it. Because where did he get that from? I mean, when people make those kinds of comments, I mean, I'm always wanting to know because it's good. It's good to know those facts so that we can kind of get this stuff out there. But everyone who I'm seeing reporting on Amari Cooper, they're not reporting that Amari Cooper said he was coming back to Dallas. And maybe he did. I'm just saying, I would just like to know where that information came from. Contact Digest Podcast. He's what's going on with me? He said they need to move Mingo to tight end. He's a big dude, man. He's a big dude. And I think that's one of the reasons why they're so excited about him. Charlie Phoenix Rising, he said, man, it's ugly out here. Man, I'm telling you. Chris Wilkins in the crib, he said from Philly, raised in New York. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Big Cloud, he said, work hard, G, putting those videos out. Yes, sir. Good to see. Yeah, man, I got some more profile videos. I'm going to definitely get those in when I get done. Katharina Kids, they keep talking about Amari Cooper's coming back. Amari Cooper is not coming back to Dallas. I do not believe he's coming back to Dallas. I do not believe it. And again, I'm going to make the same case I made before when I was talking about the Keenan Allen discussion, when we were talking about all these different discussions about wide receivers. I can appreciate the work that people do. But let's think about this. Yes, sir, Ron. Yeah. Yes, sir. That's one colorful shirt. Yeah, I used to have a suit to match, but the suit I had to get rid of. So it was a solid color suit, so you couldn't see all the colors. But again, yes, sir. Yes, it's very colorful. Kind of like Joseph. Big Cloud. It's the same thing I'm saying. I've heard nothing from Amari Cooper, his camp, or anybody else talking about Amari Cooper is coming back to Dallas, or he's interested, or mutual interest. I've heard none of this. And even the people who keep reporting this stuff, they're reporting out of hope. They're not reporting out of fact. But there's more fact that Amari Cooper is not coming back to Dallas than there is hope. Now, if we understand the definition or the biblical definition of hope, from the biblical perspective is based on fact. We've turned hope based on chance, and we'll even hope against the facts. So when it comes to true hope, I don't believe there's any hope of one Amari Cooper coming back, because I'm telling us we do not understand what I'm saying. It was not a business move. When the Cowboys got rid of Amari Cooper, it was not a business move. They disrespected this man's integrity. And I know some people integrity don't matter. Well, I don't know. Maybe that's how you live. But integrity matters to me. Integrity matters to me. My principles, my values, they all matter to me. In everything I do in my life, they matter to me. And I'm not going to a football team that insulted me on the level that the Cowboys insulted Amari Cooper, unless we're going to actually have a serious sit down and we're going to have a serious talk about what you did and understand where I still stand on my principles, and that you not only owe me an apology, the Dallas Cowboys owe Amari Cooper a public apology. A public apology. This is bigger than Mike McCarthy. This is bigger than that. And I'm telling you, we be talking about, because I know we are the Dallas Cowboys, and I love being a Dallas Cowboy fan. I love being a Dallas Cowboy content creator. I would love for Amari Cooper to come back to the Dallas Cowboys, even with the understanding of, I know that the Amari Cooper that everyone is talking about is not the same Amari Cooper. And Amari Cooper is capable of what he used to do in flashes. But but are we going to get a consistent Amari Cooper when the reality is, even when Amari Cooper was here, we were complaining that he wasn't consistent? I'm laughing at the fact that people keep talking about Amari Cooper coming back here the way the Cowboys ran him out of here, as if also just because someone says there's a discussion going on about Amari Cooper, how do we even know that the Cowboys want Amari Cooper back? Because I believe even the Dallas Cowboys know that in order to get Amari Cooper back, there are some things that are going to that they're going to have to concede to in order for Amari Cooper to come back. And I got news for us. I'll be entertained by any film. I'll be entertained by any comments. I'll be entertained by any videos on Amari Cooper, because I like Amari Cooper. This isn't about Amari Cooper's play, though. This really isn't about Amari Cooper's play. It isn't. This is about principles. This is about principles. This isn't about his play. We know what Amari Cooper is capable of. We also know what he's not capable of. We also know that the thing about Amari Cooper, where his philosophy doesn't jive, his principles do not intersect with the Dallas Cowboys. They like their players to play hurt. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying that the Cowboys don't like their players to play hurt. And I'm sure all teams do. But in particular, we know we want our players playing hurt. And one thing we know about Amari Cooper don't like to play hurt. It don't mean that he won't. But Amari Cooper, if he feels like he's going to risk his body in any shape, form, or fashion, Amari Cooper won't play. I'm telling y'all, man, we're talking about two different philosophies, as in a player and a team. There's going to have to be a lot of things that are going to have to be discussed with Amari Cooper coming back, and I don't think he's coming back. Darryl McDonald, he says, I can't see Amari Cooper coming back to Dallas. I can't either. And I don't believe there's mutual interest. No, I don't even think the Cowboys are interested. Amari Cooper flat out rubbed Jerry Jones the wrong way. I don't think he's interested. Joey Barker. We're going to talk about this whole thing about a need of a wide receiver too, which I do agree with you. But again, Joey, I talked about this last night. I wonder if we're projecting what we believe versus what the Cowboys fully believe. I think there's a discussion in the building also. I think there's a discussion in the building based on the evidence. Stephen Jones says we don't have the number 2 pick. We don't have the number 2 wide receiver. Jerry Jones says the 4th round draft pick was Jonathan Mingo. And it's Jonathan Mingo that the Cowboys continue, or Jerry Jones in particular, continues to talk about. And I just wonder if our need is here, but the Cowboys' need is here. And the Cowboys are saying, we want to fully see what Jonathan Mingo is with Dak Prescott, and maybe there'll be other news that'll shake down. Maybe we'll get this Isaiah Bond decision. Maybe the Cowboys will get an Isaiah Bond decision. Maybe there'll be some post-June 1st cuts. Maybe when we get to the preseason, we can see what's available. But I'm not so sure that the Cowboys are going to go out this week unless they find a very good deal. I mean, we were looking at a guy last night. Daniel M. brought him up. And I was not really familiar with this guy. I forgot his name. Alec Pierce from the Indianapolis Colts. Maybe a deal like Alec Pierce from the Indianapolis Colts, which I seriously doubt they're going to give him up. The way this dude started balling this year, maybe some deal like that come down. But I'm not so sure that the Cowboys are as desperate as people think he is. I think the Cowboys may be trying to buy some time until they can kind of see what Jonathan Mingo is. Yeah, Ron, there's still a lot of money to spend. And once they extend Michael Parsons, there's going to be even more money for this year. Terrence LeBird, boy, Terrence, boy, you are so right on so many levels. I personally dislike what they've been saying about him while he played here. I said it last night, Terrence. They insulted this man's integrity. They insulted him as a player, his principles, his morals, his values. And some people think that don't mean nothing. Well, maybe it don't mean nothing to you. But this is, the reason why I'm saying all of this, because anyone who's talked about or know Amari Cooper, they know what he does value. They know what kind of guy he is. They do know what kind of guy he is. And it's the very reason why the Cowboys don't want it or didn't want him here. He's a thinker. He wants to know the whys. He don't want you just to tell him something. He wants to know the whys. Marvin Jenkins said he's coming. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Last year, he was a $20 million receiver. So what is he going down to play for the Cowboys? What is he going down to? Timothy Govin. I think, again, I would not be surprised if Jerry Jones is keeping a very close eye on Isaiah Bond. Isaiah Bond could very well also be in play for the Cowboys. And by all intents and purposes, they're saying that Isaiah Bond is probably going to be cleared. Let's see. Because I think if he's cleared, and the fact that he went undrafted, I mean, he'll be a pick on the level of Lyle Collins, basically. The Cowboys can basically get him for pennies on the dollar. Now, I've heard some people say some stuff like Isaiah Bonds can't catch and stuff like that, but Marvin Jenkins, he said McCarthy did that. Jerry did too. Jerry did it too. We're going to look at another video today, matter of fact, as we talk about Amari Cooper. 105.3 The Fan, they have an updated video to where Bobby Belt is talking about it again. Will Amari Cooper come back? Because I'm telling us, I think we're letting the media fill our heads with something that's really not a discussion. It's not a discussion. It's not a discussion until it's really a discussion. Dana Jett, oh man, Dana Jett. He's like Neo from the Matrix. He's starting to believe. Dana said, I've been very negative against our upcoming draft, but I admit it was great. It was. It absolutely was. Terrence says, Cowboy Nation, I don't recall a mumbling word out of him while he was with Dallas. I don't either. In 2018, Dak was looking hot garbage until Amari got here. Terrence, Amari changed life for Dak Prescott. Amari Cooper is the receiver that really helped Dak Prescott become a quarterback. Amari Cooper was where he was supposed to be. Precise, crispy route runner. Hands catcher. And a lot of people underestimate Amari Cooper. This dude is yoked. You're not arm tackling Amari Cooper. Especially at that point in time. Amari Cooper was dynamite. He really helped Dak Prescott with his timing, his ball placement, his faith in a wide receiver. He really helped Dak Prescott with throwing to a place, throwing to where the receiver is supposed to be versus having to throw it right at him. Amari Cooper did a lot of that stuff. He really helped Dak Prescott on so many levels. And so, yeah. And he was the type of dude, he came in, put his head down, went to work. That was Amari Cooper. And they said a lot of things about Amari Cooper, and then, hey, he just left and didn't say anything. And that's one of the reasons why I do think it's going to be, I don't think he's going to come back. I don't think he's going to come back. And if he does come back, well, and if there is a conversation, the money that he's going to require, I don't think he's coming back. JS Tube 36. He said, why would the Cowboys spend money on a career that might be shot? He said, maybe we should learn from trying to bring Zeke back. He said, maybe it's better to turn that page and go to someone who is hungry. JS Tube, you're saying something that I don't think people are quite understanding. My other fear of bringing Amari Cooper back, would he be coming back because he wants to be here? Or would he merely be coming back if we paid him good? You're making a very interesting point. If Amari comes here, he's got to make sure he comes in. It's not about the money. Because actually, we've seen players do this. They just started kind of going through the motions towards the end of their career. And again, Big Cloud, you're hitting on something. 3 teams in 4 years, something isn't right. And I read it last night. He didn't quite perform the way they wanted him to in that last Cleveland game. They didn't leaf in the river 21-82. No, you're not actually being, well, I don't know if you've been factual at all, but you're not being factual on this. No, Dak Prescott was balling with Amari Cooper. That's why a lot of people were saying it didn't make sense for the Cowboys to get rid of Amari Cooper. He really helped Dak Prescott become a better quarterback. And no one thought it made sense when the Cowboys let go of him. Even when you talk about the money, people thought it didn't make sense. Kippy Gardner, he said, please, no Amari Cooper. Kippy Gardner, here's some of the stuff people say. He said Amari quits. Once a quitter, always a quitter. He says no. Darryl McDonald says, I don't think they should bring up Amari Cooper. Should bring Amari Cooper back. I think they need to see what they have in these young guys. Darryl McDonald, I think the Cowboys are telling us this. This is why they keep bringing up Mingo. Katharina Kiss, she said, gee, you're 100% correct. This is why they keep bringing up Mingo. They're trying to tell people, they're trying to sell us on Jonathan Mingo, but we got to, I understand our fan base. We're desperate. We want a wide receiver, and the Cowboys are saying, hold on, I think we have a wide receiver. I think they're saying it. Oh, Richard Owens, that part too. He says bringing back Amari Cooper will be the ultimate slap in the face to Mike McCarthy. Yeah, you're right about that too. You're right about that. Joey Barker said been that way for years. Luis Ortiz, he said, how much is Dak really going to have to throw with new line? Ooh. Luis, Brian Schottenheimer, I believe, is going to turn Dak Prescott into what I call my ideal championship quarterback. Let me give you my ideal championship quarterback. He only throws the football 20 to 27 times. 25 times is the magic number for my championship quarterback because I want to run the ball 35 times. I want 35 runs. I want 25 passes. We can kind of go back and forth if we want to do 27, 28, and maybe we want to run 32. I want it to be more runs than passes. And I'm not necessarily looking for even long drives as much as I'm looking for ball control, time of possession, but every now and then, I want Jordan Blue to knock the camera off the goalpost. Every now and then, I want Mafa to knock the camera off the goalpost. As much as I want some of the ball control, the time of possession, I also want to put teams on notice that if you go to sleep, we got enough speed that if you go to sleep, we're going to the crib on you too. Ball control at the same time, big playability. We need it all. That's another thing we've been lacking. It's either big ball control or nothing. Every so often, the big plays. No, we need to be putting teams on notice. At any moment, we can do it to you. At any moment, we can hit you with a big play. At any moment, we're going to hit you with chunk plays because we got the speed on the outside, the speed and the power between the tackles. We have the dominant line that we're going to be able to run on you. We want to have that versatility. We do. We want to have that versatility. And so again, Louise, Brian Schottenheimer is about to give us exactly what I believe the ideal quarterback is for championship teams. The magic number is 25 or less. That's the magic number. Because if you're throwing the ball 25 times or less, that means that you are absolutely dominating those lines of scrimmage. Your run game is working like gangbusters. You're beating the brakes off a team. You're humiliating them. You're hitting them with play action passes, long, deep play action passes. You're doing things to them that they have no control over. You're making them come out of the defenses that they normally run. You're dictating, you're controlling the tempo of the game. You're doing whatever you want to do. That's what championship teams do. And Louise, you're right. We do need a number 2 wide receiver. I'm not sure if Mingo can't be that number 2 receiver, but I'm not going to be mad if the Cowboys really get a good pickup and they come in and they're better than Mingo. But at the same time, whatever wide receiver comes here, he's going to have to understand, bro, it's a pitch count. If Dak Prescott's going to throw the ball 25 times, well, he's probably going to target CeeDee Lamb, 10 times? Might target the tight end 5 to 7 times. Maybe Jaden Blue out of the backfield 3-4 times. Kevontae Turpin 2-3 times. I'm just telling you, as the number 2 wide receiver on this team, hey, we want you to take some pressure off CeeDee Lamb, but we're not asking you to take a lot of we're not actually asking you to take a lot of targets away from CeeDee Lamb. So understand that you coming in here, you're probably going to get targeted about maybe 5 to 7 times a game. If they try to take away CeeDee Lamb, you might get up to 10 or 12. But what we're hoping is that we're really going to be spreading the ball around. So you might want to prepare yourself for about 7 targets. That's the ideal world, because we want to also make sure that Ferguson is getting his little bit of, hey, Ferguson, we need you about 5 times down the seam. This offense is going to look different. And that's another reason why I was saying last night, we really need to think about this, because Jaden Blue is not he's not your bell cow running back. He is a part of the run game. He's not your bell cow running back. I will not be surprised if they move Jordan Blue into the passing game. And Jordan Blue in the passing game is going to be a problem. You get him out in space, he's going to be a problem. So when you put Jordan Blue into the mix, don't forget Kavontae Turpin being in the mix. When you put all of that in the mix, we're going to see if the Cowboys are really, as people say, they're desperate for a wide receiver too. And I don't think they need to get into desperation mode. I think they need to be smart about what they're doing. They just need to, let's see what we got here. Let's kind of see what we got. And once we understand what we have, we can go from there. We can go from there. But right now, Cowboys are already looking pretty good. They're already looking pretty good. Blue Star, I think that they're thinking the same thing. Dak is going to make Mingo look like a superstar. Because I'm telling you now, Dak and Jonathan Mingo are going to be better than Dak and Brandon Cooks. Dak to Jonathan Mingo is going to be better than Dak to Brandon Cooks. My man, what's going on, brother Terrell? Good to see you. Yeah, Derek McDonald, I don't think the Pickens thing is happening. The Pickens thing is not going to happen because he doesn't fit what the Cowboys are doing. Even though I did make a good case last night, man, when you look at the quarterbacks that this man George Pickens has had over the last few seasons, you could totally understand why George Pickens is disgruntled with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And so I'm not going to knock George Pickens all the way down. Maybe if Jordan Pickens came to the Cowboys in this brand new culture, maybe he'd be different. Maybe he'd be different. We would see, but again, it would be a matter of what they had to give up. Quack, quack. He said, I'll be shocked. And again, that's why for me, quack, quack, I'm just not pouring a lot of time into the Amari Cooper stuff because I just don't think it's going to happen. I just don't think it's going to happen. It's a lot to do about nothing. I just don't think it's going to happen. Okay, Stuart Patterson. Okay, you're giving me what I wanted. James Slater interviewed Amari Cooper at the Pro Bowl, and Cooper said he'd like to play in Dallas again. Okay. So James Slater talked to Amari Cooper. Let me see here. Appreciate that information. I want to make sure I'm So let me ask you this. Did you see this interview or are you hearing about this interview? Okay, wait, here it is. I see it right here. Wait. Oh, no, that's 5 years ago. That is not it. Okay. If anybody come across what I'm looking for, throw it in the chat. This thing with James Slater and Amari Cooper. Because I haven't heard anybody bringing that up. I really haven't heard anybody bringing that up. I haven't heard anybody bringing up. Even James Slater isn't bringing that up. So I would really like to see that. Govin said, I think Lamb was being outshined by Cooper. He made Dak a better quarterback. Oh, he did. He did. Became the number one after he was traded. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I do. Richard Owens, he said, gee, if you're Amari, wouldn't you want a chance to prove the world wrong? Well, he had a chance to do that with Buffalo. You got a chance to do that with Buffalo. Okay, G misread that comment. Gene Martz. Okay, tell me which one I misread. Okay. Big Cloud. That's what I keep saying. Too much damage and disrespect. And I know some people don't really think that's a big deal, but that's a big deal. That's a big deal, man. The way they did Amari Cooper while he was here, that's a big deal. They did. Iceberg Slim, I'm telling you, man, he said, Terrace, you hit it on the head. Blue is the mismatch teams will not see coming. And again, this dude's going to be in the passing game. I guarantee you. I guarantee you Jordan Blue's going to be in the passing game. See, base, this is it. Mingo might be all right, but we have to see. But his film that's out there, he's not scaring any defensive backs. I got some film for you. Stargazer on ice, she got some film from somewhere, and we're going to look at that in just a moment. So first, let's run through Pure Gaming. I've heard someone else say they'd like the wide receiver holding. Let's run through what they're saying on 105.3 The Fan today. They are also talking about the Amari Cooper thing, and they're asking the same question. I mean, could he come back to the Cowboys? I mean, this is because, man, I'm telling you, everybody understands the damage that was done with this whole ordeal.
What is this wide receiver 2 news that came around?
All right, we're going to check this out. 105.3 The Fan. They talked about it again this morning. They've already been talking about it. They're talking about it again this morning with Amari Cooper. Let's check it out.
So what is this wide receiver 2 news that came around yesterday?
So we will be able to ask, like I said, Nick Harris directly about this. Nick Harris, a resident of Princeton, will be driving up to join us during the Expressway tomorrow. We'll have Nick Eatman a little bit later on, 9:20 today, to talk about
Ice Cold Cowboy. I asked the same thing last night on Cowboys After Dark. What make people think Amari Cooper wants to come back? And what make people think Dallas want him back?
About this topic, but Nick Harris had written yesterday that while there's been some attention on the trade market, and you've got these different names that people have speculated about, could Dallas be interested in George Pickens? Where they call it, Todd Archer reported they called about some AFC North receiver. He didn't say George Pickens, but a lot of people have figured that must have been George Pickens. But Nick Harris wrote that while there has been that focus there, there's still the availability of free agents. And he listed some potential options. Keenan Allen, Nelson Aguilar, Robert Woods.
Okay.
However, there is building team interest in bringing free agent Amari Cooper back for a reunion in Dallas, according to a Star Telegram source.
Okay.
And I don't know
why. What happened?
Well, so here's the thing. I don't know if there's ever been, if you look at Amari Cooper.
Oh, feel you, Gene. Appreciate you.
It was not the same intensity at all. So but if you want to talk about a 2 on a 10-point scale, it's a distant relative of people being upset about the Luka trade. Like a 2 on a scale of 10. Don't mistake me and say that it's in the same universe. But it's a distant relative somewhere on you look on the genealogy chart and you're like, oh, look, I'm related to the intensity of a Luka. People were furious when Cooper got traded. You were furious. I remember we were doing an event at Twin Peaks, Eat, Drink, Scenic Views. We were doing an event at the Twin Peaks in Burleson. And it was a fan event. And that was the day that Amari Cooper got traded. And you went on the fan roundtable and you blamed me for the poor return.
Boy, Darryl McDonald. Boy, that's a heck of a comment you made right here. This is a heck of a comment you made right here, Darryl. If they bring back Amari Cooper, they'll never see what they have in these young receivers. Boy, you said something right there. Whew. Boy, you said something right there. Spider-Man in the crib, what's up with you? He says, Spider-Man said, how often does it work getting back together with your ex? Hey, in my experience, Spider-Man, you typically figure out why you were exes in the first place. That's what you figure out. And you think about what happened when we got Zeke back. It didn't work. It didn't work. We're going to see. I think this may be something what they're talking about. We'll see if this is what they're talking about.
You said that you exposed their business too much.
Right.
And you ruined the value they potentially could have gotten People are still upset. They will invoke the 5th round pick that you got back for Amari Cooper.
Will.
It's years later.
They should. It's your fault.
And this is one of the guys that they were absolutely enamored with here in Dallas. People loved him. They thought he was a straight shooter. He got here and he just changed the offense overnight in 2018. He talked.
My man, X, he said, I got back with my ex 3 times. What crazy. Yeah, Big Cloud, it would be a 2-year deal if they want Amari Cooper, which is actually a 1-year deal. Yeah, it would only be a 1-year deal. That's how it would be. Ice Cold, you're exactly right. A vet just gives you insurance in case Mingo don't pan out. Daryl McDonald, he's up still having nightmares about that. Boy, y'all got me rolling. Tolbert is not that bad. Y'all forget Cooper Rush was throwing to these guys. You know what? They're saying that Tolbert's going to make another step.
So much about how badly he wanted to be a Cowboy. He was a free agent. Washington threw a ton of money at him. A ton. Way over what Dallas was going to pay. And he turned it down to come back to Dallas. And then things fell apart. And people, I think, felt like he was always unfairly scrutinized by the organization. A lot of people always blamed it on the vaccine. That he didn't get the COVID vaccine, and they were upset about it, and that's what ultimately ended things here. They were not happy he didn't get it. That's true. Because they felt like it cost them his availability at one point in the 21 season. I think it was the Chiefs game.
Because as time went on, we've seen that, if you get the vaccine, you don't get COVID again.
Right. Well, I mean, that's probably why it wouldn't be as much of a sticking issue for them today. But at the time, they were upset with him.
Right.
I think you and Sean I've heard you guys tell stories of you guys being in Oxnard and getting the vibes.
Now, this discussion they're having right here, this is a principal issue for Amari Cooper, because he's very concerned about what he puts in his body. And this discussion really divided a lot of people in this country. And they really, really was on Amari Cooper about this whole issue. And so I'm telling this, man, there are still people who are still tripping on this whole thing right here. And it was a part of why they got him out of here. Angie, you putting all your eggs in the bingo basket? No way. What's going on, my girl? How's everything going? Angie, the issue is this. What I'm explaining is where I believe the Cowboys are, especially when you're talking about Jerry Jones. I just think they want to see what Mingo is. I think they want to see what Mingo is because, Jerry or Steven talked about it. When you're looking for the number 2 receiver, what's his threshold? Is he what you already have, or is he better? Because if someone is what you already have, then what's the point in even bringing them in? But I've heard some people now been saying that they just want some insurance in case Mingo don't pan out. You know what? I'm going to say this. Dak Prescott he just seems to be able to make these types of receivers. If they'll catch the ball, Dak will throw it to him. And he's going to give them opportunities. I just think Mingo with Dak Prescott's going to be different. I think Dak Prescott with Mingo would be different. I really do. But I'm definitely not putting all my eggs in the basket. Angie, I'm open to them bringing in somebody. And Amari Cooper, I'm not going to be mad if they get Amari Cooper back, but I do caution people. This is not going to be the Amari Cooper that came in and changed life for Dak Prescott. I do think it'll be an Amari Cooper that'll show us maybe flashes of that from time to time. But I would say, and on the other side of that, but he probably wouldn't have to do it as often because when he was here, we were pass first. I think Brian Schottenheimer is going to bring that bring that balance back to this team to where we're going to do a lot more running. And so it's going to be quality over quantity as it applies to the passing game here. And hey, maybe that'll even be better for Amari Cooper. So we'll see. No, I'm open to him coming back for sure. I just don't think it's going to happen. Again, Jared Thomas, he said, "What's up, bros?" He said, on that gas again. Yeah, I don't think he's coming back.
Out there, talking to people at different parties and events and things like that, oh yeah, they're not happy with Amari Cooper this year that he's in this position.
Right.
But I will say that the biggest issue to Amari Cooper leaving here, the biggest reason for Amari Cooper leaving here is no longer in the building, and that's Mike McCarthy's gone.
Okay.
Mike McCarthy didn't like Amari Cooper.
Somebody
Amari
mentioned
Cooper,
that earlier.
Was particularly fond of McCarthy. And so that was...
What was the issue?
Two just different people, honestly. I think if they would have been able to get past some of their quirks the way that they are, I think they really would have liked each other. Because the issue was Amari Cooper is so damn smart. He's really smart, and things he's...
Is he a Y guy?
Yeah, he's so analytical, and things have to make sense to him. He's like
chess player.
He's a chess player. He's an engineer. He's like he's a...
Is he an engineer?
No, I'm just saying this is the type of like mindset I'm talking about.
I was like, dang, man.
Computer programmer. Like it's got, you can't just say, hey, Amari, I want you to do this. This was a big problem he had with Sanjay Law.
Angie, you got to be rolling. She said, ice cold, I'm asking because I only hear G bringing up Mingo. And the only reason I keep bringing up Mingo, Angie, is because Jerry Jones keeps bringing them up. Pay attention to these conversations that Jerry keeps having. Every time Jerry has a conversation, he's like, hey, don't forget we have Mingo. Don't forget we have Mingo. So now Steven says we don't have the number 2 on this team, but we have the potential for the number 2. And I also wonder, Angie, because I was saying this the last couple of days, I wonder if Stephen Jones is using that as a motivation tactic. Why would you say something like that? One, somebody says because it's true. But why would you say that in public? Are you saying it because it's true, partially? And are you saying it because you want to fire up the receivers you have on the team so that they'll try to prove to you that they are number 2s? That's what I'm wondering. Is this psychology that they're trying to use?
The receivers coach. So Sanjay Law would say, you need to do this. And Amari would go, that doesn't make sense to me. So no. Or he would go, that doesn't make sense. Why? Why do I need to do this? Because I told you to.
27,
Okay,
Kirk.
What you're saying doesn't make sense, so I'm going to keep doing it this way. Because if you can't explain it to me, if you can't tell me why this is the best way to do it, I can't. And it wasn't, it's so difficult. It comes off as so difficult. And in the end, it is, I guess. But in reality, it's just, that's the way he is. He needs it explained to him. It's got to make sense. Because if it doesn't make sense to him, he can't fathom, why would I do that? That's not the right way. So think about Mike McCarthy. And Mike McCarthy is very much about, hey, I told you to do something, do it. Don't question me. Don't be insubordinate. Don't push back.
Mm-hmm.
So that naturally created problems, I think, where when Mike McCarthy wanted something or had a vision for the offense or there was something along those lines, then there was a resistance at times from Amari because it wasn't explained to him. I also think McCarthy hated how frequently he wouldn't practice.
Well, the practice thingy, that was, I don't know why I said thingy there. It's one thing leaving Italy. Like they put, did you notice this when you were there? They put an A on the end of every word. You want a drink? You want the beer?
It's for the accent.
It's everything has an A on the end, like literally everything. The bathroom.
It sounds like that's a cousin of Valley Girls.
They're singing.
Like they put an A on the end of it instead of a question mark, like Valley Girls do.
Yeah. They sing everything. They sing everything there. I hated he doesn't like football. I hate that guy. I hate the guy who says, "Oh, does he love football?" You don't have to love your job to be great at it.
Well, and I think do
you think people who have that are great at like really difficult jobs, like manually tough jobs, do you think they love their job? Or do you think it's a job? Like they're good at it?
Well, and I think he's also I think he's so academic about the job. Like, and he views it as such a like he's almost like a professor or a researcher or something, where it's just like it's all. Did you ever see the movie Oppenheimer?
No.
Okay, well, in the movie Oppenheimer, they talk about how he's so brilliant and he understands everything and he sees things in a way that so many other people didn't. But like, his lab work and some of the other things he did, it wasn't, he didn't have a love for the lab the way he needed to, but it all made sense to him, and he was fascinated by it and wanted to make sure that
Chris Wilkins, he said Mingo is the Trey Lance of wide receivers.
science was
Come on,
correct.
Chris.
And for Amari Cooper, I think it's science to him. It's stuff that makes sense. He's obsessed with how does it work and how does it function at its best.
For real, Angie.
Is he like, man, I love playing ball. I could go play ball in the backyard and sandlot football and stuff like that. No, there's not that. I do think he loves the game. I just think his love for the game is expressed differently than somebody else who's just like, man, I love ball. I could do it. And I think that's hard for guys like McCarthy who have that head buddy. Now, this staff, I think Schottenheimer, who never got a chance to work with Amari Cooper, I think Schottenheimer would really respect Amari Cooper and really like the way he goes about his process.
You know, it would be a really good fallback option.
Is a fallback option from what, though?
From taking somebody in the draft.
So, like, we're already past that. So you're not talking about fallback option from exploring a trade or other free agents?
No, I'm talking about for the draft.
Now, one of the
if they could get somebody younger, you know, like, because I don't know how much does Amari have actually left.
So that's the thing. One of the big things we talked about at the end of last season, you remember this was what's going on with Amari Cooper in Buffalo. Like, is he like
as a mid-year trade?
But he's shown before mid-year trade he can walk right in and he was fine.
Yeah.
And this was something where he walked right in and, you know, he contributed. Very first game there, 4 catches, 66 yards, 1 touchdown, and then he's inactive a couple weeks later. And then he was inactive the final game of the season. And if you look at, he was on the field for 80 snaps in the playoffs, and he wasn't a factor at all. And there's a lot of people, the word from a lot of people, it feels like, around the league heading into this offseason was they thought he was cooked. And I don't know how much it is that he's cooked. He's always been banged up. He's always had health issues. But, I mean, you're talking about a guy who is still, he's going to be 31, which is obviously not, it's no spring chicken. But, I mean, he is somebody who should have something left. There should be something you can tap into there. And he is still such a precise, incredible route runner.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I'd be down. Like I said, I'd be down with it. I would be down with it if they were able to do that. It would take away some of the sting of not getting a wide receiver.
Would you rather have Keenan Allen or Amari Cooper?
Amari.
Okay. Because Keenan Allen has remained productive consistently.
Yeah, I would assume it's just easier to get back in kind of in tune with Dak.
There's that, and I would feel like Keenan Allen's a possession receiver to me. Like, I want somebody who's... but I want somebody who's going to get me some separation.
Yeah.
I want some clean windows.
Now, you can tell by that interview, if you didn't notice, you can tell by what they were saying. There's really not a lot to say about this Amari Cooper thing. Everything that you're hearing from people is reaching. And we're talking way back at the Pro Bowl. I mean, how long ago has that been? If the Cowboys were going to get Amari Cooper, and there's even a write-up on it today, and everybody's still talking just the same talking points. Everyone knows there is bad blood between the Cowboys and Amari Cooper. I mean, it is. It is. Here it is right here. It says, who first reported the interest in Cooper also noted the interest would need to be reciprocated by the, and I think somebody actually got this wrong. I don't know. They're saying there's mutual interest, but if you read what's being said, first reported the interest in Cooper also noted the interest would need to be reciprocated. So the reality is it doesn't even seem like, other than someone reporting that he was a part of the discussion, and no one even knows in what way he was a part of the discussion. Nobody even knows if the Cowboys want him back or he want to be with the Cowboys. No one knows any of this stuff. And so I want to move over here for a moment to Jonathan Mingo. Angie, I was making my rounds on X. And lo and behold, Stargazer Sports Stargazer Sports. She said, we may have something in Mingo when 4 gets back. What are y'all seeing in these clips? I'll come back after the fact and delete these. I'm pretty sure they're going to copyright strike me on YouTube for this. Let's check out these highlights here, and y'all tell me what you think of Jonathan Mingo. Check him out here. See if we can turn the sound off. Now, what the purpose of this is to show the separation of Jonathan Mingo. Hold on. Let's turn that sound off. Check it out. That one was skipped to the turf. He ran a nice route. Oh, he wide open right there. Did y'all see that one? Let me show you what you're working with Mingo. Let's go back for a second. That wasn't Mingo. That was Rush. Look at this one. He wide open, man. That was Rush. Oh, he gone on that one. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you what I'm just telling you where the Cowboys are on Jonathan Mingo. I think they want to see what he is with Dak. I do. I think they want to see what he is with Dak. And I do think Mingo, I just think he's a different type of receiver than Keenan Allen. I really do. I mean, Mingo, man, this dude's got an upside. I mean, we just got to admit it for what it is. He's got an upside. We just got to see what it is. We just have to see what it is. And in the meanwhile, we just keep working those lines, and see if maybe we can, keep working the lines until you can maybe get the exact wide receiver that you want. Because I don't believe you want another receiver that's close to Jonathan Mingo. If you're going to bring somebody in, man, you need to bring in a serious step up. Now, some of y'all might believe that Amari Cooper is a serious step up. I'll be honest with you. I have not been following Amari Cooper the way that I used to since he hadn't been with Dallas. I know when he first left, he was looking pretty good, but then I heard he didn't produce really well in Cleveland. They traded him, and we read some stuff on him last night, and he didn't look too good in Buffalo. But I'll tell you this. If the Cowboys are going to bring in Amari Cooper, they need to bring him in now. Don't let him miss all of the training camp and then bring him in. Bring him in now if you want to bring him in. See what he is. But again, y'all not figuring in the money factor. The money factor. JS2. He says, Coach Shotty is trying to build a football team. Last thing he needs is somebody bringing unnecessary soap opera. We don't need the BS drama. I feel you. I feel you. Angie, she said, do you have any wide receiver in mind you think could help CD outside of the guys we already have? I just think the pickings are slim, Angie. I mean, I'm just being honest. I just think the pickings are slim. And the two pickings that people are talking about as it pertains to, we haven't even figured in the cost of Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper and Keenan Allen both last year, I think, were $20 million receivers. So what will they take to play for the Cowboys? I got a strange feeling they're not going below 10 million. I got a strange feeling they're both going to probably try to be close to 12 to 15 million. I'm not sure the Cowboys want that for a 1-year rental. I think the Cowboys are trying to find something different. That's probably one of the reasons why, if we're talking about an AFC North team, people said they went to trade for an AFC North team. And you look at the AFC North, Baltimore Ravens, Cincinnati Bengals, Cleveland Browns, Pittsburgh Steelers. Well, I can't see the Cincinnati Bengals trying to give up T. Higgins. So the only team in the Baltimore Ravens, they just acquired DeAndre Hopkins. They were probably trying to make a trade. And again, I guess, I was wondering if he would be, I would really like to know who this person is. Because if it's the AFC North, it's more than likely the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then I guess they would be willing to bring in George Pickens. But I've also seen some people say where they don't believe the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to trade George Pickens. And maybe that's why it fell through. They're not trading him. Angie, you better believe it. I don't even think he was questioning just the plays. I think he was questioning the route concepts. I think he was questioning the scheme, just the overall philosophy of what they're doing. I think he was questioning it all. Because I do believe he's a thinker and he knows the game. Yeah, C-Base, people have already anointed Josh Allen as the best quarterback in NFL history. Pure Gaming said, compare Jalen Tolbert last season stats to Amari Cooper. Boy, Pure Gaming, boy, don't say it, man. Don't say it. Now, I do think Amari Cooper was hurt last year. Just for giggles, since you brought it up. I mean, you brought it up, not me. Oh, Pure Gaming. I don't even think nobody want to see this. I'm not sure anybody want to see this. I'm just going to put it up here. Y'all blame Pure Gaming for any problems that you may have. Pure Gaming asked. Pure Gaming, he says, compare Jalen Tolbert to Amari Cooper, and he said Jalen Tolbert had a better season. Y'all tell me if this is true or not, because I'm gonna put it up here. Y'all tell me the question that he asked, is it true or not? Did Jalen Tolbert have a year last year than Amari Cooper? This is according to Pure Gaming. This is Pure Gaming trivia. Gene Martz, he said, gee, you brought up an amazing point. Who really do we need for 5 to 9 targets a game? How much would you spend on an outside player for that few of the targets? Now, Gene Martz, you think about why A.J. Brown was doing a lot of complaining there during the middle of the season. And go back and look at A.J. Brown's stats. A.J. Brown is happy with winning the Super Bowl. Boy, when you look at that man's stats, you want to know why he started reading books on the sideline? The man had to start doing things to calm his dang on mind because he's not getting the ball. That's why he started reading on the sideline. Because when you're playing in these types of offenses, you're just not going to get a lot. You're not. You're not getting a lot. So you got to take what you can get. So you need to prepare yourself. You might get 5 or 6 targets. You mess around and have a game with the Dallas Cowboys are dominating a game with 3 or 4 of those running backs, and you might see Dak Prescott with a 20 throw game. He got a step. He does. Mingo got a step. We don't even need to hate on him like that, boy. He got a step on him. Now I don't know what he gonna look like, but he got a step. And I can tell you this: he's going to look exponentially better than Dak Prescott. I mean, with Dak Prescott, not better than Dak Prescott, with Dak Prescott. Okay, now, Pure Gaming said, and he laughing in the chat right now. Pure Gaming said that Jalen Tolbert, he asked did Jalen Tolbert have a better season last year, and I do believe Amari Cooper was hurt somewhat. Ice Cold Cowboy already. Boy, Ice Cold Cowboy already set it up. Ice Cold Cowboy said Amari had no quarterback in Cleveland, and he hurt his wrist in Buffalo. So Ice Cold already know the answer. Ice Cold already know the answer. That's why Ice Cold, he giving some context. He said, "Hold on a second, let me tell you what happened." But Pure Gaming, I'm just gonna show you the year that Amari Cooper had. Amari Cooper had 44 receptions last year. Boy, that is way down for him. 44 receptions, 547 yards, 4 touchdowns, 12.4 yards per catch average. And let's kind of see what games, how many games did he miss? Okay, so let's be fair. Pure Gaming, we got to be fair. Wait, well, let me make sure. It looks like in 2024. Man, this was tough. Amari Cooper in 2024 played 14 games. 14 games. He had 24 receptions in Cleveland for 250 yards and 2 touchdowns. He had 20 receptions in Buffalo for 297 yards and 2 touchdowns. It was not an Amari Cooper year. He only missed 3 games. Jalen Tolbert, on the other hand, Jalen Tolbert had 49 receptions, 610 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Tolbert only had 5 more receptions. Tolbert had, about 60-something more yards or close to it. 3 more touchdowns. Their average per catch is the same. They're 113th and 114th. Jalen Tolbert actually finished a point ahead of him. This is kind of what he was last year. Now, I do think Amari will look better with Dak Prescott. But my question is, how many receptions will he get with this new thing going? Because I want you to think about this. Now, this is Tolbert last year with Cooper Rush. Look at his targets. 6 targets in the last game, 4 targets a game, 4 targets against Philly, 3 targets against Tampa Bay, 2 targets against Carolina, 3 against Cincinnati. I mean, man, the targets are crazy. The best game that he had of the whole season, was the game against Pittsburgh. That was his coming out party. He had 10 receptions, and this is the main problem that I have with Jalen Tolbert. Inconsistency. He flashed in the Pittsburgh game, but if you look at every game after that, He got back in it. I mean, the last game of the season, he got 98 yards and everything in between there. I mean, it's just all over the place. It's 40 yards. It's 19. It's 21. It's 0. I mean, Tolbert is so inconsistent. And this is the question mark of why people are really saying the Cowboys need to get another wide receiver. This is why people are saying it, because we kind of know what Tolbert is. If Tolbert even makes another step, how many receptions will he get? Dak may give him, 2 to 3 more targets to see what he can do with those. And Mingo, we just don't know what he is. Even when we see him in training camp, we're not going to know what Mingo is until we get some live ammunition flying. So I understand what a lot of y'all are saying. Y'all understand. I understand exactly what you're saying. I understand that because we don't have enough history on Mingo, everyone is saying they want an insurance policy. I understand what everybody's saying. They want an insurance policy. They want an insurance policy to say that if Tolbert don't take a step and Mingo ain't what we think he is, that can we have somebody on the team that can still be productive? I know exactly what we're saying. Rico Jones, what's going on? He said he on the team. Let him prove he belong. If he don't work it out, it's on Jerry. If he don't work out, it's on Jerry. Yes, sir. So at the end of the day, Jackie, what's going on with you? At the end of the day, it's just this. I understand why everybody wants another wide receiver. I want another wide receiver, but I want to make sure that one we bring in, I want him to be show enough. I don't want it to be somebody that I don't want it to be just somebody. I want it to be somebody. Robert M31, he says, G, much respect, but I got to disagree with you on Campbell. 6 years, 3 teams. Campbell. I'd start Tolbert over Campbell at this point. I can trust Tolbert. Campbell. Talking about Paris Campbell? Okay, I didn't think Paris Campbell been in the league that long. Hold on a second. Yeah, at this point, oh, yeah, you're talking about in the past when I said that I would take Paris Campbell and Jonathan Mingo over Jalen Brooks right now. Well, think about this. I guess in the grand scheme of things for me, Robert M., maybe where I'm going with this is I would probably take Tolbert over Mingo. I mean, I would take Mingo over Tolbert, and I would take Paris Campbell over Jalen Brooks. That's kind of where I am. Okay, I didn't realize Paris Campbell been in the league so long. Okay. I did not realize he'd been in the league so long. All right, we'll see if he pans out. He might not make the team. For real, though. He might not make the team. And two, you know, when you think about this doggone Dallas Cowboy depth chart, sorry about that bell. When you look at this Dallas Cowboys depth chart, man, Cowboys already got 12 wide receivers. We talked about it last night. I mean, Cowboys got 12 wide receivers, man. And we still need a wide receiver. I mean, the Cowboys got 12 wide receivers. This is crazy work. Look at this. They have 12 wide receivers. Tolbert, Mingo, Lamb, Brooks, Flournoy, Turpin, Harmon, Williams, Campbell, Holden, Kelly, Cropper. They got 12 wide receivers and still don't have a number 2. That is crazy work right there. That is crazy work. 12 wide receivers and you only got one number 1 receiver. And as far as we know, the drop off from number one to the rest of these receivers it's the Grand Canyon, it seems like. Yeah, the Cowboys got to fix that. And I wish they could have did it in the draft. But again, maybe the Cowboys are going to wait. They're going to give him some time in training camp. See what he looks like with Dak. See what he looks like with Dak. They'll give him some time, and then if he ain't looking good around the end, maybe they change him out. Ice Wall, I'm with you. Got to do something, because last year our number two was the number two. Yes, sir, Ice Wall. Yeah, they got to do something. They got to do something. And I know exactly what everybody's saying. I know why everybody wants a number two receiver. Yeah, I want one too. I just want to make sure we get the right one. I want to make sure we get the right one. That's what I'm looking at. And so they got 12 wide receivers, man. And it is crazy to have that many wide receivers and you don't have a number two. Angie said Tober still ain't that good. I don't care what the stats say. Well, Angie, if you look at the stats say he ain't that good. You actually hit it on the head. And again, when people start talking about stats, we have to understand the stats, the film, the box score, they're all the same. They're all telling the same story. They're all just giving us context. That's all they're doing. They're giving us context. And the reality is, Angie, this is why I was saying this even last year. We need all three of them. We need all three of them to see what's going on. We need the stats so we can go to the box score. So we can see what did the person do in the game and then go to the film to see what that looked like. Because the box score is really the film without watching the film, especially when you go into the details of the box score. So you need all three of these things. And for me, just looking at Tolbert's stats, they don't look good. But he needs a little context too. Let's be honest. Cooper Rush was his quarterback for the last half of the season. He was the quarterback. Maybe Tolbert could have been better had Dak Prescott stayed healthy the whole season. But again, I understand why everybody wants a wide receiver. I do too. I just want the right one. I want to make sure they get the right one. The dude, I don't see any kind of, make sure I close some of these windows. But again, as it pertains to the Cowboys and this whole thing with Amari Cooper and Jonathan Mingo and all those different things, we'll see what happens. I do believe the Cowboys are going to figure this out. They have, and I won't say they have all the time in the world to figure it out, but they got some time. They got some time to figure it out. Will Pounds, appreciate that $20 super chat. No, Will Pounds, I'm not trying to prove that. I'm just laughing because that's what Pure Gamer said. Pure Gamer said, go check the stats. He said, go check the stats and see what they did last year versus last year. But no, Jalen Tolbert in his prime, man. Hey, Will Pounds, I'm not even sure if Jalen Tolbert is in his prime. I don't know what's going on with Jalen Tolbert because I'll be honest with you. If I was the Cowboys, Jalen Tolbert would already be off the team. Jalen Tolbert is here because the Cowboys drafted him. Jalen Tolbert would already be gone if it's me. But you said Jalen Tolbert in his prime is as good as Cooper, who is a shell of his former self. He said, that's what you're trying to prove? He said, Lord have mercy. No, that's all I said, man, for giggles. I said for giggles because Pure Gaming had me laughing when he said comparative seasons from last year. And again, Amari Cooper might look different with Dak Prescott. He may look different with Dak Prescott. For real. He may come back and his career could be rejuvenated with Dak Prescott. It could. Yeah, it absolutely could. Okay, I see what. Let's see. All right, here's the video. Just I was looking for it, and here it is. This is Amari Cooper talking to James Slater. See what the date on this thing is. No, this isn't the right one. This is from January 23rd, 2020. I bet you this is the clip that people are going off of and thinking that this. Let me see. This is an old clip. I don't even know what this is. It's an old clip. It's an old clip for sure. I would definitely like to see that whole thing about Dak Prescott. I mean, about Amari Cooper talking about this thing with mutual interest and all that. All right, let's look at this thing with the Cowboys again. I want to look at the Dallas Cowboys depth chart. Again, I just can't give a lot of time to this whole thing with the wide receiver thing with the Cowboys, because I am just telling y'all, man, people did this stuff before the draft, and people were making the argument for the wide receiver the Cowboys should get. And guess what the wide receiver the Cowboys got? The very one they still have. I just can't do it. I don't think the Cowboys are actually, excuse me. I really think the Cowboys are maybe trying to sell us on Jonathan Mingo. I just think that's what they're doing. My man Poobie D, what's going on? I think they're trying to sell us on him, unless they can't find somebody. Gregory Davis, he said, what about DJ Moore? Boy, I would love to have DJ Moore. I would love to have DJ Moore. Now, Gregory Davis, this is one of the things I talked about last night. There will be post-June 1st cuts of players. Maybe somebody shakes down to the Cowboys. Maybe they are able to get somebody that gets a post-June 1st cut. So right now they just need to focus on just, hey, let's get ourselves ready, and if something comes, we can get it. Jackie Smith said, we are playing spades. We have a book, CD, Impossibles, every other wide receiver on this team. Jackie, only people who know spades know that. I know exactly what you're talking about. She said, no one is that ready to command the room. She said, nobody. Yeah. Robert Dudley said, A.J. Brown reading the book. I'm not the BTO. I'm not the BTO in Philly, Jersey. I feel you. Amari Cooper had more targets than Tober. That man Pure Gaming. Is in here. Boy. Hey, man. Hey, I'm just saying. Maybe, like I said, though, maybe he'll look different when he comes back with Dak if he comes back, but I don't think he's coming back. Ice Wall said even an injured Coop is better than something that was definitely hindering him. Is better than that. So something was hindering him. Yeah. And also, too, I think something is going on to where maybe just don't have a quarterback. Maybe that's what it is. And Dak Prescott, being with Dak Prescott, it'd be a totally different story. I wanted to look also back at this Dallas Cowboy defensive line, this offensive line the Cowboys have, because this is going to lead me into Shotty's plan. And I was thinking, because we've been talking about the Cowboys offensive line, and when you look at the Cowboys offensive line, looking back and pulling up the Cowboys offense, the Cowboys did a masterful job to me between free agency and the draft. I mean, if you can see this on the screen, I mean, the Cowboys offensive line, man. And I'm wondering what will be the combination of the offensive line. Because there's Tyler Guyton, Tyler Smith, Cooper Beebe, Tyler Booker, Terrence Steele. Y'all tell me what you think about the line combination. Because in my estimation, I'm putting a question mark beside Tyler Guyton. I'm really going to put a question mark beside Tyler Guyton. I don't know how long they'll put up with Tyler Guyton doing what he did last year. I don't think they're going to give him 3 and 4 games to get Dak Prescott killed back there or not being good in the run game. So the 3 linemen that I think that are penciled in, Tyler Smith, Cooper Beebe, Tyler Booker. I think those 3 linemen are penciled in. But I'm really questioning whether or not Terrence Steele and Tyler Guyton are penciled in. Y'all tell me what y'all think on this. This is what I was wondering about the Cowboys' offensive line. Because I really do think the Cowboys are going to have to really consider, is Austin Richards better than Tyler Guyton? I think they're really going to have to let these two battle it out. I think the Cowboys should just let them battle it out and see who's who. And don't let Tyler Guyton be the starting left tackle because you drafted him in the first round last year. Okay, sometimes you just got to be able to admit that you did something wrong. Sometimes you just have to be able to admit it. So I just wonder, I really do wonder, is Guyton really going to be the left tackle for the Dallas Cowboys? Y'all tell me what you think, but I'm telling you, I really think they need to let these dudes battle it out in camp. I do think Tyler Booker, I do think that Hoffman is probably going to try to give somewhat of a battle, but I don't think that Hoffman is going to be able to beat out Tyler Booker. Tyler Booker is Zach Martin's replacement come hell high water. They've already made their decision on it. I mean, they're still going to try to make him prove it, but I also think Tyler Booker is that good. He's going to prove it. But my question is, Terrence Steele. And maybe let's think about the line combination. So what if the Cowboys, rather than Tyler Guyton, forcing him to play left tackle if he can't play left tackle? Well, what if the Cowboys say, and if Terrence Steele isn't playing well, how about they move Tyler Guyton to the right tackle and bring Austin Richards to the left tackle? Robert Jones is probably going to try his best to battle Tyler Smith. I don't think he's going to beat Tyler Smith, but I do think he's going to be great depth. Brock Hoffman is going to be great depth. TJ Bass he's going to be great depth. The Cowboys have got some good depth where they need it. But again, when you look at this offensive line, they have an opportunity to put together a really, really good offensive line based on what they have in the camp. Y'all tell me what you think on this. Dang Liam said, I can't believe that all of y'all are falling for the pie lie trap by Steven and Jerry. Carl Aber, he says, give Guyton time, bro. Last year was training. Yeah, everybody's saying he's going to take another step. They're saying he's going to take another step. But again, Carl, let me ask you a question. But he played right tackle, if I'm not mistaken, in college. He played right tackle. Terrence Steele didn't play right tackle good last year. What if they put Tyler Guyton at right tackle and stop trying to force him to be a left tackle? What if they did that? What if you have Tyler Guyton at right tackle and let Austin Richards be the left tackle? See what he does. Then I wonder if Brock Hoffman, with all of his versatility, could Brock Hoffman challenge Terrence Steele at right tackle? Because we know that Brock Hoffman can play both guard and center. I wonder if he could go out there to tackle. And then this Ajanji Cornelius, what if he comes in and takes Steele's spot? Because a lot of people are asking the question. I saw some people talking about it today. How many rookie starters. How many rookie starters do y'all think the Cowboys have? But again, looking at the offensive line, would you rather see what this looks like, what they currently have? Guyton at left tackle, Tyler Smith at left guard, Cooper Beebe at center, Tyler Booker at right guard, Terrence Steele at right tackle, or are we going to let this thing really battle out? And if Awesome Richards beats out Guyton at left tackle, will we then say, let's move Guyton over to right tackle? Let's move Guyton over to right tackle, and let's see what Awesome Richards is. I mean, the Cowboys are going to have options. They really are. They are going to have options on what they can do with this offensive line, and I absolutely love it because the Cowboys really need to be focused on putting together the best offensive line they can in front of Dak Prescott in that running game. You got to do it. Boy, y'all ain't going to get this man Mingo a shot, are you? Contact Dodgers, he says, Ajonji was fairly high on my prospect list, amongst other takes. Johnny Cornelius. Johnny may challenge Terrence Steele because Terrence Steele did not look good last year. Rico Jones, I agree with you. They paid him too early. Angie the Rebel Chicks, she said, but I can see next year the Joneses drafting a right tackle. And Angie, again, what if you move Tyler Guyton to the right tackle? Don't force him to be a left tackle because I just don't know it. You know, people were even saying, well, left tackle comes natural to him. I'm not sure if I agree with left tackle becomes natural to him. Man, left tackle, man, you out there on the island sometimes. And you really got to protect that blind side. I'm not sure. Yes, sir. Ice Cold said the law firm of Tyler. Yeah, they got the wall of Tyler, they're calling it. Yes, sir. MC, I love what you're saying. He said, I like this coach already. He's doing great this offseason. Yeah, he's putting in that offseason work that's going to pay off in the regular season. Mark Taylor said most teams don't have a stud as a wide receiver too. He said Dak, a running game and better protection for Dak should have a ripple effect and help all the wide receivers. Now, Mark Taylor, the thing that I'm trying to also get us to realize, Jaden Blue is not a bell cow running back. They didn't get Jaden Blue to be the bell cow running back. He's going to maybe be a little bit of a change of pace. This dude, Jaden Blue, can do it all. Out of the backfield, in the passing game. Jaden Blue is going to be the answer to one of these offensive weapons. He really is. And then when you add that run game in, I mean, maybe they won't need as much as we maybe think. They'll have Kevontae Turpin. I'm pretty sure they're going to work him into the passing game. Booby D, that's what I said. That's what I thought too. Guyton played right tackle in college. But then you got people saying, nah, man, he natural at the left tackle. Well, he didn't look natural. I know he needs some development, but he didn't look natural. And that right tackle may be a lot easier for him. Angie, that's what I'm saying. How about they stop putting people in the wrong spot on the line? And they have a very good opportunity, you know, in this offseason, man. They're going to really be able to play with a lot of good line combinations. Leave Cooper Beebe where he is. I know people, they've been talking about moving Cooper Beebe and putting Hoffman in the center position and moving Beebe over to where. No, that's what you got Tyler Booker for. So this conversation is dead now. Cooper Beebe is the center. Tyler Booker is the starting right guard. And even with the battle that they're probably going to have, no, Tyler Booker's going to win those battles. And then you got Tyler Smith, who has been endorsed by Tyron Smith. And so the question becomes Tyler Guyton and Terrence Steele. Will Awesome Richards, or will they allow Awesome Richards the opportunity to beat out Tyler Guyton, or just all together, if Terrence Steele is not working out, maybe you move him over to right tackle. The Cowboys have so many combinations that they're going to be able to try out to make sure well before the season starts that they're ready to go. Okay, superstar status, I appreciate what you're saying. You're saying the Steel is going to do better in this system. Okay, I appreciate what you're saying. Yeah, hopefully Dak gets it together. Oh, Dak's going to get it together. I believe that Brian Schottenheimer, MC, he said Dak Prescott is going to play elite level football. I absolutely believe it. I absolutely believe what he's saying. Dak Prescott is going to play elite level football. And I do believe he's talking about because of the system they're going to run now. CL, he said Dak took a lot of pressure from the middle of the O-line last season. Yeah, Booker may fix that for sure. Dak with a dominant line could make some of these wide receivers look like some Pro Bowlers. And CL, as somebody so eloquently mentioned a couple of days ago, if we get Dak Prescott some protection and stop running hitch routes and stop running in our routes or only hitch routes, maybe Dak Prescott will really be able to do something. Yeah, MC, I'm just wondering that he played right tackle in college. I'm like, maybe they should move him back. Carl Aber, he says, so G, that on the coaching, bro, of trying to make what he is not. Okay, give me a little bit of clarity on that. Oh, yeah, I feel you. Yeah, that's on the coaching. Yeah, trying to make him what he's not. Yeah, for sure. I got you. Yeah, Carl, for sure. For sure. Because if he came out of college playing right tackle and for all intents and purposes, he seemed to play right tackle really well, why try to put him back at left tackle? I say put him back at right. I mean, why put him try to put him at left? Leave him at the right tackle. Rico Jones. Rico Jones said we have a 147 offensive lineman. Let the best man win. Man, let me tell you, they got camp ready, man. We going into camp. This is just as of now. We're going into camp with 12 wide receivers. And still no number 2, but we got 12 wide receivers. We're going into camp with what? Let me see. 5, 10, 15, 17. We're going into camp with 17 old linemen. We're going into camp with 5 tight ends. We'll see how that all turns out. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going out on a limb. I got a strange feeling that Deuce Vaughn and Malik Davis will not be on the team. And if they are, they will not be on the active roster. I really do see Deuce Vaughn maybe going to the practice squad if they even keep him. And then another guy that you start thinking about when you're talking about the running back position, what in the world are we going to do with Hunter Lipke? What in the world are we going to do with Hunter Lipke? Because they don't seem to know what to do with him. They really don't. They don't seem to know what to do with Hunter Lipke. Reenan, still is too expensive. Put Guyton at the right tackle position and send this man to another team. Yeah, man, they might have played. They might have paid him a little too quick. They might have paid him a little too quick, but we'll see what he does this year. Johnny can play both tackle spots. Ooh, yeah. Superstar status said none of us would play tackle very good if you're constantly asked to play on your heels to pass protect instead of run blocking. Superstar status. I've been bringing this up for months. The way you train a young offensive line is you run the ball. It is easier to run block. They get more confidence. They get their confidence built up through being able to dominate on the defensive side. Dominate the defense rather than stepping back in the pass coverage and then getting fired off on when they don't yet have their techniques and all those things together. So, yeah. And before we go to Shotty's, and let's do this on Shotty's plan. Matter of fact, let's do this on Shotty's plan.
Here we go.
So, when we look at this roster, I'm just wondering, of all these players the Cowboys drafted, how many of these rookies will be starters? Tyler Booker is a starter. We don't even have to discuss Tyler Booker. He is going to be a starter. Cornelius Ajani probably will not start out for sure as a starter. I think Phil Maffa and Jaden Blue, I don't know exactly what the Cowboys are going to do. I'm just not going to be shocked if Phil Maffa and Jaden Blue are starters at the beginning of the season. I'm not going to be surprised if they're starters. I'm not. Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders might better get ready to be basically used in very specific packages and being used basically as backups, because I don't think neither one of them, just looking at the film on Phil Maffa, I don't think neither one of them are better than him. And we already know Jaden Blue is a specialty running back. Jaden Blue playing day one. There will be packages for Jaden Blue. I am not going to be surprised if Jaden Blue gets 4 to 6 targets a game, getting him out of the backfield, getting him on some sweeps, getting him some screens. They're going to try their best to get the ball in this dude, Jaden Blue's hand, at least 4 to 6 times a game. They will. Jaden Blue is going to start, and I do believe as far as their number one running back, it will be Phil Maffa. So on the offensive side of the ball alone, I see 3 starters. When I look on the defensive side of the ball, I do believe that Savon Revel Jr. will be a starter on this team. Savon Revel Jr. will be a starter on this team. Now, as it applies to Shamar James, I do believe that Shamar James is going to be more of a special teams player. Jack Sanborn is going to be the starter until Overshown returns. Leafau is not going to be the starting middle linebacker. I believe that is going to fall to Kenneth Murray. But as far as these rookies go, Jay Toya is not going to start over Mozzie Smith, but I am not going to be surprised that those two jokers are in a serious rotation. And they're going to be able to keep Mozzie Smith and Jay Toya. They're going to be able to keep Mozzie Smith fresh, because I believe Jay Toya is going to get some snaps. And quite a few snaps. Donovan Ezeraku will be on the field. Donovan Ezeraku is going to get quite a few snaps. I mean, so all in all, when you think about this Cowboys draft, I do believe the Cowboys probably have about 6 starters on here. They literally went in the draft and got 6 starters. But I'm really excited about the Cowboys when you think about what they're going to be able to do on defense. The defense is different than the offense. The offensive line that we have constructed, I like it so much better than what we're going to do on the offensive line, because on the offensive line, you're really going to settle on 5 players. You're going to settle on 5 players. They'll have their backups and maybe another 2 or 3, but maybe another extra one for whatever position, or have some that can play multiple positions. So you'll have that. But if you look at this defense, this has got to be the most exciting part of this team. Right now, right here, right now. I want you to think about the packages they're going to be able to put together on this team. When you just look at the trenches, Fowler, Mozzie, Odigizua, Micah Parsons, and behind them, Nealon, Solomon Thomas, Jay Toya, and Donovan Ezeraku. Do we not realize what we've done on defense and how crazy this is? The combination of packages that they're going to be able to put together, throwing Sam Williams into the mix, throwing Peyton Turner into the mix. I mean, when you think about they literally have 16 linemen going into camp. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy, man. When you just look at the first 9 or the first 10, boy, this team is going to be ready to go in the trenches. They should be able to come up with all kinds of combinations to stop teams. This will be nothing like last year. This defensive line is so, I can't express to us enough how exponentially better this defensive line is compared to last year. The depth, the combinations, you'll be able to have hey, this is our run, this is our pass, this is our in-between, whatever you want to do. They are going to have so much flexibility on the defensive line. It is going to be crazy. I just don't remember the last time the Cowboys have had a defensive front, a combination of a defensive front like this. Because I'm telling you, all 10 of these guys are going to play. I'm talking Parsons, of course, Odighizuwa, of course, Smith, Fowler, Ezraku, Toya, Thomas, Nealon, Williams, and Turner. They're all playing. They're all playing. I guarantee you they're all playing, and they're going to be all playing in the games. It's going to be crazy. I will have to say their defensive line is the one thing they beefed up in a way that is astounding to me. Their offensive line work this year is crazy, guys. It is. Their offensive line work was crazy. What they did is incredible. And when you look at the cornerback position, maybe after June 1st, after we get out of compensatory land, I still want to see the Cowboys bring in Asante Samuel Jr. I still want to see them bring in Asante Samuel. But again, and just looking at the linebacker core, I don't know. People are talking about DeMario and Overshown coming back soon. I just don't want this dude to come back soon. I don't. Overshown needs to sit out, man, and get fully healthy. But again, when you look at where we are with the linebacker position, I actually think what they have as the second line is actually going to be the front line. Because I don't think DeMario Overshown is going to come in starting. I don't think Maurice Leofau is going to come in starting. I think it's going to be Kenneth Murray Jr. and Sanborn. I think Shamar James will maybe be pass rushing downs. I think they may try to use him in blitzing situations. And then, of course, you got Damone Clark. Man, Damone Clark, bro, you better turn it on. You better turn it on. And again, from the the cornerback position, I do want to see the Cowboys bring in Asante Samuel Jr. I think they're really banking on Kyer Elam. But Revel, again, I think he's going to be a day one starter. And I don't even know what that means for Trayvon Diggs. I don't even know what it means. I don't even know what it means for Trayvon Diggs and Kyer Elam. I mean, Trayvon Diggs, if Savon Revel Jr. and Kyer Elam comes in here and they're balling. I don't even know what it means. I don't even know what it means. You're going to have Kalen Carson back. At some point, you're going to get back Josh Butler. I don't know what it means. Well, I know what it means. I just don't know what it means during the season. I am a little bit questionable at the safety position. Malik Hooker and Donovan Wilson was terrible at the beginning of the season last year, so we'll see what they look like once the season starts. You got Wanye Thomas back. They're going to give him an opportunity, and they're definitely Marquise Bell, I believe, will be one of the Cowboys starting safeties before it's all over. There's no way they're paying this man, and he's not going to start. Angie, they love drafting linemen. You are exactly right. They love drafting linemen. L.A. Dot. He said, I love the in-depth of this channel. Great content. Keep helping the Cowboys Nation. Appreciate you, L.A. Dot. Yes, sir. Superstar, he says, after this season, I'll have a better opinion on what I think of Mingo. He said, I love what he said. He said of Mingo. Right now, it's too early to call it on him. It is. It is, and they're going to give him an opportunity, but it's a little too early. And I understand, Cowboys Nation, I understand where you are. I'm just trying to keep us in reality with one Amari Cooper. I just don't think he's coming back. I'm not going to be mad if he comes back because I definitely want to see if him and Dak Prescott can rekindle some of that magic, because I said this before. Could you imagine 2023 CeeDee Lamb with 2021 Amari Cooper going against the Green Bay Packers, boy, I'm telling you, we're talking about a different game. If it was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. I know. But I'm telling us, this is why I'm in agreement with you guys. I know where you are. We do need a number two that we know that come hell or high water, this guy is going to be battle tested and ready to go. I understand exactly what you're saying. And again, I'll be honest with you. If George Pickens is the AFC North wide receiver they were talking to, that means that they would actually welcome him into the culture. Make it happen. He's young. Make it happen. Why not? Make it happen. I do think that Pickens is better than any of the receivers we have on this team other than CeeDee Lamb. George Pickens would be a great complimentary receiver to CeeDee Lamb. I do believe that. George Boney, what's going on? He said, good. He said, G, good to see you. Got some rest. He said, you was tired last night. Yes, sir. Yeah, that Cowboys after dark, boy, be, especially going to 4 a.m. But again, hey, we're going to see what I do tonight. If I can get my energy up tonight, I'm going to do it again. Riz Kid, he said Jaden Blue equals Tony Pollard. Hey, let me tell you something, Riz Kid. Not only do I think he's Tony Pollard, I think he's better. The speed and the moves of Jaden Blue is insane. Jaden Blue, when you look at him on tape, his start and stop ability, his cut ability, and then his ability to get back to the next speed, the gears. I'm talking Lamborghini gears, man. He hit those gears so quick, I'm telling you, this dude reminds me, speed-wise, I would love to see him and Kevontae Turpin race at camp. Oh, yeah, superstar status. I think he's better than Felix Jones. Felix Jones didn't have this. He didn't have that 4.25 40, then the combination of the 4.25, the 40, the moves. No, he's going to be better. Yeah, he's going to be better. Yeah, if they give him an opportunity, no, he's going to be better than those guys. No doubt about it. He will be better, for sure. Poobie D, did you hear Clayton Adams today? What was he on? What was he on? Angie, you about to make me fall in this chair in here. Angie, you up in here tripping. Angie said, bring back Zeke. Hashtag feed him. She said, hashtag feed him. Man, you know what, though? Amari and Hampton and Zeke going to be together. I wonder what that going to look like. I wonder what that going to look like. Poobie D, where's that Clayton Adams clip at? And let me read this if see if we can get that clip. But I want to show you this thing about Schotty's plan. This was kind of the thing that I want to look at tonight. Schotty's plan. They're talking about this over on Athlon. Let me see if this is it. No, this is CDC. Okay, here it is. Schottenheimer's plan. Somebody mentioned this in the chat earlier, and I want to bring it up again because this is exactly where I want to really bring this home. Then I'm going to get out of here and see how I'm going to be feeling tonight. We might do Cowboys After Dark for all you late night folk. Says here, listening to the Dallas Cowboys head coach Brian Schottenheimer all off season, we know that he wants to change the culture. It says that is a big dream, but he's just not talking the talk, he's walking the walk. We've heard about all the little things he's done so far. such as buying everyone in the facility Whataburger and sending champagne to Oso Digizua's table at dinner after he signed his new contract. Man, let me tell you something. You would think that a room full of millionaires, the coach buying them Whataburger wouldn't be a big deal. It's a huge deal. Little stuff like this goes a long way. Going to Oso Digizua's, sending a champagne bottle to Oso Digizua's table. Showing up to Micah Parsons' Pins with a Purpose. When you get a coach that's doing little things like this, anybody who's married, folks will tell you strange things about being married. I'm one of these type of men. I'm a little bit different. You know, I don't really require a lot. But when it comes to women, they'll tell you in a heartbeat, it's the little things that count. You want to impress your wife? Somebody says, buy 12 dozen roses. Nah. You want to really impress your wife? You want to really impress your wife? Have all the dishes washed when she comes home. Have all the clothes washed, folded, and put up. You think, who wants something like that? That's the stuff I'm talking about. There are certain things you can do for people that shows them you love them more than material gifts, in a sense. There are little things you can do to really show, nah, man, this is something where I'm showing you it's you I really care about. These little things that this dude has been doing is crazy. It's crazy. And let me tell you something else. Don't let Brian Schottenheimer fool you. Brian Schottenheimer has an advantage. Brian Schottenheimer has an advantage over any coach that could have came into Dallas. I'm about to hit y'all with some real hard truth. I don't know if you've ever worked at a place to where you got promoted from within. Some people say that's something that you never want to do, but I'm going to tell you something. It all depends on where you work, because sometimes it is something that you want to do. And the reason why you don't mind being promoted from within, Brian Schottenheimer talked about this in his interview, I think at the owners' meeting, where a new coach would have to come in and he would have to get a tour of the facility, learn where the facility, learn his way around the facility, get to know the people, the personnel that work inside of the facility, learning and meeting the players and having to, in his first year of coaching, trying to really pick and find his way of this person, what makes this person tick, what makes that person tick, blah, blah, blah. Do we not realize that Brian Schottenheimer has had the advantage of being around this team for the last 2 years? Brian Schottenheimer, let me tell you what this man was doing. And he should have been doing this. Taking notes of everything that Mike McCarthy should have been doing. Taking notes of things that Mike McCarthy could have done that would have really not just won over. Because I'm going to tell you about Mike McCarthy. I can tell you right now, Mike McCarthy is the type of dude that I would love to be friends with. Mike McCarthy is a smart guy. I'm not going to ever take that away from him. Mike McCarthy knows football. He's smart. He is smart. Might be too smart for his own good. He's smart, but he's stubborn. He's been indoctrinated with the West Coast offense, and he will not let it go. If this man ever want to come back in this league and coach, he is going to have to come back totally. He's going to have to come back with a system, and he can't be talking about that West Coast. He's got to come back with a new, innovative system. He's a good guy, but I wouldn't want to work for him. I wouldn't want to work for him. He's the type of guy that, no accountability, everybody's buddy, everybody's friend, and he's the type of guy that people in a workforce would run roughshod over him. Wouldn't want to work for him. Brian Schottenheimer is one of those guys you'd want to work for because he's trying to build a team through their mentality. He's trying to show them we're a family. This man isn't just building a team. He's building a family. And there are people out there who are such haters, and you can tell that these people who don't see this stuff, you can tell they have a lack of character even by some of the stuff that you hear them say in their own videos. But you got to give Brian Schottenheimer credit for what he's done off the field, because it's the off the field stuff that is so impressive that will make you better on the field. By the time these guys hit the field, Brian Schottenheimer is going to have these guys ready to run through a wall for him and fight anybody who does anything to Brian Schottenheimer. This is exactly what he's doing. They're not only going to be willing to run through a wall for him, they're not only going to be willing to fight anybody for him. The part that's impressive to me, they're going to be willing to fight for each other. And that's the thing that I felt that was missing on this team, even during the winning seasons. I never felt like these guys would fight for one another. I never felt like that. Especially when you're talking about the superstars of Dak Prescott, Micah Parsons, and CeeDee Lamb. I'm feeling a little bit different now. Hearing Micah Parsons talking about him, Dak, and CD getting on the same page. I want to hear that. I want to hear Dak Prescott doing what he did when they interviewing him. Being very careful what he says about Micah Parsons, while at the same time challenging him and encouraging him. Brian Schottenheimer is smart in what he's doing. Pounding the table for high character players as part of his efforts to construct an improved culture at the Star. Why does he feel the need to make an improved culture at the Star? Because they're telling us something about the culture that was under Mike McCarthy. I've been hearing people say, I don't believe this because Dak Prescott met Mike McCarthy's family. Boy, let me tell you, y'all obviously have not been out in the world long enough. There are men I have worked for we were friends outside of work, but I dreaded going to work with them. They were some of the greatest people you'd ever meet outside of work. At work, even when you're playing around. But when it came to getting a job done, they were nowhere to be found. They held no one accountable, and you hated working with them. Let me tell you something. When you really know what I'm telling you, you'd rather work with somebody who you don't like, who you know holds everybody accountable, who's going to get in there and help you get the job done and make sure everyone else gets the job done. Boy, you don't like them, but you love to work with them. You love to work with him because, hey, man, you know what? This dude right here, he be kind of tripping a little bit, man. He a little rough around the edges. But one thing I know, boy, tonight we're going to get the job done. We're going to be productive, and we're going to get up out of here early, more than likely, because this guy, he makes sure that everybody pulls their load. Everything that Brian Schottenheimer is doing, I'm sorry it may hurt somebody's feelings. Everything that Brian Schottenheimer is doing, this man looked at Mike McCarthy and said, when I get my chance, and I bet you this dude, Brian Schottenheimer, don't let him fool you. I believe he saw early the writing was on the wall. I believe he saw it early. I'm going to get an opportunity to interview for this job. And when I interview for this job, I'm getting it. I'm getting it because I'm going to take notes on everything that I learned from my father. While I've already got all that stuff together, I'm taking notes on everything that McCarthy could be doing, this, and this. And man, when I step in that interview room, I'm going to have a plan. We're watching the plan. We're watching Brian Schottenheimer's plan, whether people like it or not. We're watching the plan come to fruition. Said Shotty on that subject in the days before the draft, we're looking for world-class competitors. The guys who come in, work hard, and are passionate about what they do. It really is a puzzle. You're trying to fit together, and to me, physical traits are just one piece of the puzzle. Let me help some of us folk who keep talking about Dak Prescott has played with 9 Pro Bowlers. You know what he's talking about? 9 Pro Bowlers are not enough for me. A Pro Bowl is an individual accolade. A Pro Bowl is an individual accolade. We're not looking for individual accolades no more. We're looking for competitors who want to come in and compete together. It says we get to the draft. The Cowboys selected have embodied the type. The Cowboys selected have embodied the type of people he wants in the building. He wants what? Leaders. People who thrive on making each person better around them. Ones who build relationships with each other. And most importantly, they love football. What is he talking about? Why do they feel this to be a need? Because there were players on this team that were not doing those things. And Mike McCarthy was not advocating these things. Look at these players and how they describe them. This is the part I want you to focus on. Tyler Booker was a legendary locker room leader. That's what they're saying about him at Alabama. Donovan Ezraku, a leader at Boston College. And it isn't just the top-end draft picks that Shotty has taken in that mold. Shamar James was a captain at Florida. 7th-round draft pick Phil Maffa was a team captain at Clemson. Anybody see a theme? Let me tell you the most impressive story of all of these people that they're talking about are captains. It is Savon Revel Jr. Savon Revel Jr. to me is the most impressive story of them all. You want more? Per the Star Telegram during COVID, Jaden Blue organized workouts during his high school recruitment. And Savon Revel Jr., listen to this. Stuck with East Carolina despite 6-figure NIL offers to move because of loyalty. It is fact, not conjecture. There were D1 teams asking Savon Revel to go into the trade portal. And he didn't do it. Because East Carolina was the team that gave him the opportunity. There is nothing like loyalty, especially when a person has the ability to do everything you want them to do. When you put that with those type of people, let me tell you, as a person who does music, back in the day I used to do music, and and trying to make it as a rapper back in the day. Yes, I used to try to be a rapper back in the day. I found out something too late. Talent is extra. Talent is extra. What do I mean by talent is extra? Talent matters. But when you get to certain levels, everybody has talent. Everybody has talent at a certain level. What separates you is who is the man or the woman inside. Who are you inside? Because talent is extra, man. Everybody got it here. Whoop-de-doo. Everybody can make a beat. Everybody can sing. Everybody can rap. Everybody can dance. What separates you is what you're willing to do. Are you willing to do the things that you don't want to do the things that you want to do? Are you willing to do the things that separate you? What separates you from everyone else? Brian Schottenheimer, bravo, bro. All I can tell you is bravo. Bravo. This man is putting together a mentally stable team. That's the part I appreciate. I appreciate that. Because that is what will get you through tough games. I said this before, and people didn't know what the heck I was talking about because they hate Dak Prescott so bad. But you're on a different type of team. When you can throw an interception and the team says, nope, nope, nope. This is not going to define this game. We got you. All we need you to do is get back out there because we're about to get the ball back. When you have a defense like that, when your defense gets scored on, and then your quarterback, your offense, your wide receiver say, guys, don't worry about it. We about to even this thing back up. We're going to go right back out here and score the ball. We're going to go right back out here. We're going to score a touchdown. We're going to tie this thing up. Y'all going to stop them, and we're going to win this game because we got everyone's back. That is what he's trying to create, which is the thing that has been missing on this team for so long. I can't tell you how long. Yes, I can. 95. That's not Dak Prescott. That's not Tony Romo. That's not Jason Garrett. That's not Bill Parcells. That is not any of those things. This is what they have been missing since Jimmy Johnson. Building not only a team, but building camaraderie on a team. Because when you build a camaraderie on a team, the coach's job becomes easier because he gets to coach, because the players will hold each other accountable. That's what you're trying to do. Mafa says, I'm a pretty chill guy. I love to make logos. I love to build logos, hanging out, learning the piano, and love going outdoors, blah, blah. He said, I'm a real person. He says, I'm a people person. And that's what Brian Schottenheimer's been trying to build. A tough, hard, physical, competitive football team, but it's also a what? A family. That's what he's doing. That's the one thing that Mike McCarthy didn't do. He didn't do that combination. People liked Mike McCarthy. They can tell me anything they want to. They had all become lackadaisical. They had all become an extension of Mike McCarthy. And they became content with mediocrity. They became content with, hey, man, we win 12 games a season. Whoop-de-doo. You win 12 games a season. You win 1 playoff games. And then you got a coach saying 12 wins a season. They're competitive year in, year out. Man, that's not what leaders say, man. Leaders say it ain't good enough. Hey, you won 12 games. It ain't good enough. Because 12 wins was not the goal. 12 wins was supposed to be a part of a journey to a Super Bowl. It's not enough. Carl, you hitting it on the head. What if the running game, the new coaching style, will move these other wide receivers? That's what we have to see. I'm telling us. That's what we have to see. We got to wait and see how it all turns out. Sean Brown, what's up? Yes, what's going on? Iceberg Slim. Left tackle is hard to play. It is. You face the best pass rush on every down. Facts. It is. It is. No doubt about it. Superstar status, that's what I was mentioning. They got to have a plan for Lipke. They do. They got to have a plan for Lipke. All right, I'm going to read y'all comments before I get out of here. All right. Let me see where I want to start so I can make sure I can get out of here in time. All right, let me get down here. See where I am. All right. Let me start about right here. Hallelujah. He said Shotty has that sneaky look like he throws unsanctioned team stripper parties. Boy, crazy. Man. Ice cold. Angie, why you have that menu out? I order 3 waffles, 3 eggs, over easy, 3 biscuits, 3 bacon, 3 sausages, 3 hash browns. Yes, sir. Boy, I feel you. Timothy Govin. He said, mouth for fullback, blue tail back in the I formation. He gonna be crazy with it. Jared Thomas. Mike has shown growth as a leader since Shotty got here. Yes, sir. Seems to now understand Dak Prescott a lot more. Yes, sir. Love to see it. I'm with you. My man Blue Star, he said preach. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, we gonna get fired up the more we go, Blue Star. It's gonna be a great season. Mark Taylor. Shotty had all the right answers because he knew all the questions. You better tell him, Mark Taylor. This man got the opportunity of a lifetime, man. You get to come up from the inside out. You get to look at everything your guy did wrong before you and say, oh, I'm going to do this and do this and do this and do this. Yes, sir. Superstar, the plan of deference and being promoted from within. Jason Garrett 2.0. I think it's going to be better, though. I think it's going to be way better. Robert Dudley, if Guyton doesn't work out, trade him. And he'll probably be able to get a trade for him, too. You will. Yes, sir. You will be able to get it for him, too. Robert Dudley, let me tell you something, man. Brock Hoffman is a dog. I am not going to be surprised if he is in the mix. Only thing about the offensive line, you need so much. Those guys really need a lot of continuity, and they need a lot of gelling. So with them, it's a little bit harder to get a rotation in. But again, boy, they're going to be nice. They are. Superstar status, he says Shotty wants the right kind of guys on the team, putting a culture in place, drafting an offensive lineman with his first pick. Yes, sir. Superstar status, and a lot of people don't give Jason Garrett credit. Jason Garrett was trying to get back to the 90s Cowboys, and he almost did it, but Romo couldn't stay healthy. Robert Dudley, he said we will have have a great 2-team O-line. Some teams will kill for it. Yeah, them boys fix them trenches. Them boys fix them trenches. I give it to them. Timothy Govin, the defense will stay fresh. That's what I'm loving. They will stay fresh throughout the game. Jimmy Johnson, recipe for success. There it is. I'm telling you, Timothy Govin, I don't want to compare him to Jimmy. I'm just saying this man is doing some things that Jimmy did. That's what he's doing. You think about what Jimmy did. One of Jimmy's greatest formulas for success, a lot of people don't understand, was the coaching staff he hired. It was the coaching staff he hired, man. Coaching matters. I tell people all the time, coaches matters, coaches matter, coaching matters. The dude, he said, I know what it means. If you got someone in your company with talent, then you're going to match any job offer they get and add some to keep them. Yeah. Yes, sir. Ice cold, he said, bars, G. Yes, sir. Superstar status, he said, hey, G, you was trying to be a member. Yeah, man. And I wasn't really them type of rappers. You already know I wasn't one of them type of rappers, man. I'll have to show y'all one of my rap pictures, boy. My wife, boy, she still be rolling on it, man. My wife and my sons, they be rolling on them pictures, boy, the way I used to look back in the day. I was probably what you would call more one of those, one of them Drake type rappers. I was one of them kind. So, yeah, I was one of them kind. Mad Bet, he said, I like Dak, but sometimes he makes me pull out my hair. Don't worry. He is going to play elite level quarterback. And I believe what Brian Schottenheimer said. He's going to play elite level quarterback. The dude, he said, I love doing Legos. Seeing an NFL running back make a Lego Millennium Falcon must be a great sight to behold. Man, he got patience. He got patience too. Cause I can tell you, boy, them Legos get a little bad. Katharina Kiss, my sister, she says, exactly, G. Shotty sounds like a pro, and he learned it from his dad. Yes. Katharina Kiss, I believe we're going to be crying in about 2 to 3 seasons. I believe in 2026 to 2027. We are going to be crying our eyes out with Dak Prescott and Brian Schottenheimer both on a podium talking about Brian Schottenheimer did it for his dad and Dak Prescott did it for his mom and his brother. We are going to be crying our eyes out in 2026, 2027, I believe. And not because of loss, because we're going to get that chip. Jerry says we need to get Dak Prescott some help right now. Hey, they got him to running. Hey, Jared, they got him to defense. They're on the way. They're not where they need to be, but they're on the way. They got the offensive line. They're putting it together. Now we got to see, can they get him? Can they get this second wide receiver we're looking for? Ooh, Timothy Govin. He says CD don't want competition of a comparable wide receiver. Ooh, I'm gonna leave that alone. It's too late now. I would, or we'd have some fun with that. But he Kush 81, my man, what up? He said I'm okay with what we got. Just want to see what we do. Oh man, it's gonna be a great season, Hoodie Kush. I'm looking forward to watching it and analyzing it with everybody in this chat, man. We got the best chat on YouTube, straight up. Best chat on YouTube, straight up. Yes, sir, hallelujah. Salute, salute, salute. Ice Cold said, if I rule the world, yes, sir. Yeah, that man, yeah, that boy, Nas, that Ether was crazy with it. Don't know be the best. We'll see. He said we need Keenan Allen. Daniel M, he said, other than a wide receiver too, the roster looks solid. Hey, Daniel M, I'm with you. And I think they're going to tweak it even more. I do. Uh-oh. Angie, you going way deep. You don't mention Scarface. That boy Ice Cold said DJ Quick. Best perm in the game. All right. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Let me get down here. Angie said make him say with Master P. All superstar status bout it was a club banger back in the day. Ice Cold said, ooh, nah. Gregory Davis, he said, you notice when Dak Prescott has a bad season, the next season Dak plays MVP. Look at 2022 and 2023. Yes, sir. Man, I'm so looking forward to it. Boy, y'all bringing up all these old Angie. They don't know. People don't know Big Hawk now. They don't know about that. Ice Cold, Rud DMC. Man, hey, make them say, Man, I'm going to give you the last word. I appreciate you. I'll see y'all again. Lord willing, till next time. Let's talk Cowboys. Yes, sir. Stephen White. Yes, sir. Robert Dudley. Appreciate all y'all. Until the next time, let's talk Cowboys. We talk facts. Peace.